Dave Campbell's Texas Football, in conjunction with the Texas Bowl, is proud to present the Mr. Texas Football Player of the Week award to the most deserving player, high schooler, in the state of Texas. Every Monday at noon, is on Tuesday at 12:33, so we're liars. The copy is lying to you. TexasFootball.com announces 10 candidates for that week's awards based on the previous week's on-field performance. We then leave it up to you. TexasFootball.com, you vote. Tell us who should be the Mr. Texas Football Player of the Week. Voting closes each Friday at noon, with the winner being announced on Texas Football Today shortly thereafter. Big week of candidates. Your Week 2 Mr. Texas Football Player of the Week nominees. Wichita Falls Hirschi defensive end Chris Murray. 14 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and he ran for a touchdown. They were lining him up in the backfield for a lot of this game. He is a man among boys out back there. Wichita Falls Hirschi defensive end Chris Murray. Bellville running back Richard Reese. 27 carries, 345 yards, and 7 touchdowns on the ground for Richard Reese. I believe those are all school records, with the exception of the carries. Those are school records. And I think he had 7 touchdowns with like 10 minutes left in that game. He was a stud. Rosebud-Lott wide receiver and defensive back Jordan Landrum. 6 tackles, 5 pass breakups, 4 interceptions. He took one back for a touchdown. He also had 3 catches, 53 yards, and 2 touchdowns receiving. Rosebud-Lott wide receiver and defensive back Jordan Landrum. Electra quarterback and defensive back Jailen Dixon. 22 carries, 343 yards, and 6 touchdowns on the ground. He threw for 103 yards and a touchdown. He had 10 tackles and forced a fumble. I told you it was a ridiculous week. Jewett wide receiver Tyson Cornett. 9 catches, 255 yards, and 3 touchdowns for the Leon wide receiver Tyson Cornett. Mineola running back Trevion Sneed carried the ball 21 times for 301 yards and 3 touchdowns and added 6 to 8 tackles and 2 tackles for loss for good measure. Argyle wide receiver Cole Kirkpatrick went off 7 catches, 185 yards, and 3 touchdowns for the Eagles, who improves to 2-0. Comfort athlete Oscar Falcon. 97 yards and 2 touchdowns passing, 115 yards and a touchdown rushing, 2 tackles and 2 pass breakups. He kicked a 42-yard field goal, which is crazy. He kicked 3 PATs, and he averaged 58 yards per punt. Oscar Falcon up for Mr. Texas Football. So is Sanger-athlete Jailen Wellborn. 34 carries, workhorse, 250 yards, and 3 touchdowns on the ground, plus 8 catches, 130 yards receiving, plus 3 2-point conversions, 3 tackles, a pass breakup, and he kicked an extra point.
Okay, there was never a play that he did not touch the ball. You cannot convince me otherwise.
Had to be.
You cannot convince me otherwise.
Ridiculous. And finally, Junction running back and linebacker Coltin House. 26 carries, 211 yards, and 2 touchdowns rushing, and 12 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, and 2 pass breakups. A ridiculous week. So those are your Week 2 Mr. Texas Football Player of the Week nominees. Wichita Falls Hirschi defensive end Chris Murray, Bellville running back Richard Reese, Rosebud-Lott wide receiver and defensive back Jordan Landrum, Electra quarterback and defensive back Jailen Dixon, Jewett Leon wide receiver Tyson Cornett, Mineola running back Trevion Sneed, Argyle wide receiver Cole Kirkpatrick, Comfort athlete Oscar Falcon, Sanger athlete Jailen Wellborn, and Junction running back and linebacker Coltin House. Vote early, vote often, vote now at TexasFootball.com.